Hey y'all, and welcome back. It is the end of August, and so that means my August book haul. I have quite a few books that I have gotten this month, which is great, but what is not great is I only read one book this month. So my bookshelf is filling up for sure. I'm really trying to get that down, and each month that I do this, it is just not going anywhere. So let's go ahead and get into this book haul. The first set of books that I have to share with you was actually a birthday gift from Monica. We had plans to read a few good beach summery mysteries that we didn't really get to during the summer. So she ended up getting me these books for my birthday, and I'm so excited to read them. I love them all, and so I'm glad to share them with you. I am super excited about them. So the first one is Two Truths and a Lie by Meg Mitchell Moore. So this one is about a mom and daughter who move into a new town, and I believe they meet another mom and daughter who live there, and it sounds like they have a lot of hidden truths, and they are projecting a lot of things that they want to be the truth but are actually lies. And so it sounds very mysterious. Like, one of the daughters has a popular YouTube channel, and she says that she's going to deactivate it before she goes off to college, but that's a lie. And so I don't know, it's very interesting. I think that this is going to be a really fast-paced book and a really good read. So this next book is by an author that I have read before, and I loved her book, and that is The Girl from Widow Hills by Megan Miranda. I loved the previous book by Megan Miranda that I read, and I bet this one is going to be just as good. So this one is about a girl who sleepwalks, and she gets swept up by a huge rainstorm and is missing, and they finally find her. And so her mom writes a book about the whole ordeal, and she's just thrown into the spotlight. And when she finally gets old enough, she changes her name and moves away to get out of that past. She doesn't want anything to do with it anymore, and all is going well until a huge anniversary comes up for the event, and she starts feeling like she's being watched even though she's in a new town with a new name. And at the point where she starts to feel like she's being watched, she starts sleepwalking again, even though this hasn't happened for years. And she finds that she is sleepwalking even outside of her home. And one day or one night, she wakes up from sleepwalking in her yard with a man that is dead at her feet. And this man is somebody that she knows from her past. So this sounds super interesting. Just the sleepwalking element, I think that's going to be really interesting. And I feel like, based on the past Megan Miranda book that I read, that it's, it's gonna make you think that it goes one way, but then it's actually a whole different thing. So I don't even know if that makes sense, but if you've read other Megan Miranda books, you might know what I'm talking about. So anyway, I'm super excited to get to this one as well. So the last book that Monica got me for my birthday is The Wife Who Knew Too Much by Michelle Campbell. And this one is about two different wives who marry the same man at different times. One of them is deceased at this point, and then the new wife comes along. It sounds like the first wife, they get divorced, she marries a younger man, and then she ends up dead, and the original husband goes off and marries a woman that he possibly had a fling with years ago that never forgot about him. And so now they are married, and she's finding out what is going on with all of this wealth and all of the craziness that goes on with wealthy people. It just sounds like it would be one of those super intriguing summer mystery thriller books. It kind of gives me a little bit of the Last Mrs. Parrish vibes, but we'll see if it actually is that way or not. So that is all that from my birthday. So now I am moving into the Books A Million haul that I got when we were at Myrtle Beach. You will see the rest of my Myrtle Beach haul tomorrow, but for right now, let's just go through the books that I got today. So the first two books are actually for a future video, so I will just quickly mention them, but I'm not really going to give any descriptions or anything because I really want to cover it in this video that will be coming out, I'm thinking later in the month, so be on the lookout for that. So the first book is Apple Cider Slaying by Julie Ann Lindsay, and the second book is Class Reunions Are Murder, and this one is by Libby Klein. So these are the two cozy mysteries that I got. Be on the lookout for a video with a few more cozy mysteries in it. The next book is in a series that I have been reading. It's the Cedar Ridge series, and that is My Kind of Wonderful, and it is by Jill Chavez. So this one is about the next brother, Hud, and he is a ski patrol. He does all kinds of stuff. I think he's maybe on the police or fire. I think it's police. He is on the police for Cedar Ridge, and a girl moves into town, and of course there's going to be romance, and then all of Jill Chavez's books are just so funny. So I know it's going to be a lot of hilarious moments in this, and I just can't even describe the humor that she has in her books, but they're all perfect and they all have a lot of romance. I think that it is a certain type of romance. It is very romancy, if that makes sense. I would say it's a couple of flames. It's not like Hallmark. It's a little bit steamier than Hallmark. So I don't know if everybody is into that. I know Monica does not like it when I recommended one of Jill Chavez's books to her, but she did think that it was kind of cute, especially like the plot line. So I don't know if it's for everybody, but I personally love this. And then I also got the next book in this series, Nobody But You. This is about another brother in the family in Cedar Ridge, and this is I think it's the Kincaid family. So he is, I think, the last brother that we are going to follow in this series. And of course he is going to meet the love of his life, and same humor, same funniness. But I really love Jill Chavez's series like this because you get to know all of the characters. You just build on the previous characters that you've met in previous books. So you can technically read them in any order, but if you read them in the correct order, it's like you become friends with them and you just like learn more about them. It's really fun. So this is the last book in the series that I know of, so I'm really excited to read this whole series. I loved the first book. So this next book was a total like impulse buy. I mean, these were all kind of impulse buys, but this one was total impulse. I've never really heard of it before, and actually the reason, besides thinking that it sounded pretty good, that I actually got it was because it was a Reese book club pick. So that is Conviction by Denise Minna. I think that's how you say it. So this is about a woman whose life just explodes in front of her. Her husband announces without warning that he is leaving, and so in order to take her mind off of the crappy situation that she is in, she starts listening to true crime podcasts and gets really involved in it until her life becomes a true crime like episode. She gets involved in the case of a sunken yacht and a family that is murdered, and she somehow becomes involved in it. It sounds really good, and I definitely can't wait to read this one. I don't know if I've actually read any other books that have been on the Reese's book club, so I'm really excited to pick this one up and see, you know, if I kind of vibe with the books that she typically picks for her book club. So our next book is another one in a series, and that is Plantation by Dorothea Benton Frank. So I love Dorothea Benton Frank's books because they have like an overall good meaning. It's kind of like watching a Hallmark movie. Like, things go awry at the beginning, but then at the end, like, you feel good, people come together, they make amends, all stuff like that. And so that is how this book is going to be. Our main character has moved away from South Carolina. She wants nothing to do with it anymore, but she gets a call from her brother saying, I think it's her brother. Yes, she gets a call from her brother saying that she really needs to come back home to be with their mother. So she takes the trip back to South Carolina, and she spends time with her mother. And even though her mother is still the same way that she remembers after, or like when she left, her mother is still the same way now as when she left. And but they tend to make amends. I am really excited to read this one. I just love like how, you know, things look like they're not going to be great, but then they turn better towards the end of the book. I love that about Dorothea Benton Frank's books. So this next book is definitely one of the Bookstagram Made Me Buy It books. And that is the Happy Ever After playlist. I saw this all over Bookstagram, and when I saw it in the bargain section at the bookstore, I just had to get it. So in this one, our main character has lost her fiance and she is devastated, but she finds a dog and she starts caring for it. She has fallen in love with this dog and she's feeling so much better. That is until the actual owner of the dog texts her and say that he's coming back to get his dog, and she is devastated, but her and the owner of the dog start having longer texts and deeper conversations, but he is a musician and she doesn't know if her heart can actually take being broken again by not only not having this dog in her life, but also getting romantically involved with this musician who could be gone for months at a time. So this sounds like it's going to be really cute and really like maybe funny a little bit, but also like super like cute romance. I think this is going to be a really good one. And the last book that I got from Books A Million is The Safe Place. And this one is about a actress who has lost her job, lost her agent, and lost her apartment all in one day. And she happens to meet this wealthy man who is in need of a housekeeper. So she goes and meets his family and she is enchanted. She's enchanted with the man's wife and she likes the daughter, and so she moves there to be the housekeeper and she falls in love. It's in the French countryside, I believe, and so she is just in love with this house and this family, but things don't seem quite right after she gets a little bit more settled in, and it seems like she's not going to be able to get out. So this sounds like a really good summer thriller as well. I hope that I'll be able to get to this before we get into fall, but we will see. It might just be one that I save for next summer. So that is all of the books that I got in August. I hope this gives you an idea of something that you might like to read. Don't forget to check back for the Cozy Mysteries video that should be coming out later this month. I will see y'all again tomorrow. Bye guys.